The question of whether dogs can recognize themselves in mirrors has long intrigued both pet owners and animal researchers alike. Watching a dog react to its own reflection often sparks curiosity. Do they see another animal, or do they realize it's themselves? This topic delves into the broader field of animal cognition, exploring how dogs perceive the world around them. Understanding self-recognition in dogs not only sheds light on their mental abilities, but also helps us better appreciate the complexity of their minds. For many, these insights deepen the bond between humans and their canine companions, making the study of mirror recognition both scientifically significant and personally meaningful. Self-recognition refers to an animal's ability to identify itself as an individual, often demonstrated through tasks like recognizing its reflection in a mirror. This capacity is considered a key indicator of self-awareness, suggesting that the animal possesses a sense of its own existence separate from others. In animal cognition studies, self-recognition is a crucial benchmark for understanding the complexity of an animal's mental processes. Researchers use this concept to explore questions about consciousness, empathy, and social behavior in various species. The significance lies in what self-recognition reveals about the inner experiences of animals, helping scientists draw connections between cognitive abilities and evolutionary development. Ultimately, studying self-awareness in animals provides valuable insights into the nature of intelligence and the boundaries of consciousness across species. The mirror test is a well-known experiment designed to evaluate self-recognition in animals. In this test, an animal is first marked with a non-toxic, odorless dye on a part of its body that it cannot see without a mirror, such as its forehead. The animal is then given access to a mirror. Researchers observe whether the animal uses the mirror to investigate or attempt to remove the mark, which would suggest an awareness that the reflection is itself. This behavior is interpreted as evidence of self-recognition. The mirror test has been conducted with various species, including primates, dolphins, elephants, and birds, providing insights into animal cognition and consciousness. The mirror test is a classic experiment used to assess self-recognition in animals. Species that have successfully passed the test include certain primates, dolphins, and elephants. These animals demonstrate behaviors indicating they recognize their own reflection, such as inspecting marks placed on their bodies that are only visible in a mirror. Passing the mirror test suggests a level of self-awareness and advanced cognitive abilities. It implies that these species possess the capacity for introspection and may understand the concept of self as distinct from others. The results have prompted scientists to reconsider the boundaries of animal intelligence and consciousness. Overall, the mirror test provides valuable insight into the minds of some of the most intelligent animals on our planet. When dogs encounter a mirror for the first time, their reactions can be quite varied. Some may bark at their reflection, perceiving it as another dog intruding on their territory. Others might sniff around the mirror, trying to gather information through scent, which often leads to confusion since mirrors do not emit any recognizable smells. Many dogs simply ignore their reflection after a brief moment of curiosity, quickly losing interest when they realize there is no tangible presence. These behaviors highlight the differences in how dogs process visual information compared to humans. Unlike people, most dogs do not recognize themselves in mirrors, as self-awareness through reflection is not common in the canine world. Scientific studies have explored whether dogs possess the ability for self-recognition, a trait commonly assessed using the mirror test. In these experiments, dogs are exposed to mirrors to observe their reactions and determine if they recognize themselves. Unlike some primates and dolphins, most dogs do not appear to pass the traditional mirror test, often treating their reflection as another animal or ignoring it altogether. Researchers have suggested that dogs may rely more on scent than visual cues for identification, prompting alternative tests using olfactory markers. Results from these studies indicate that while dogs may show interest in their own scent, clear evidence of self-recognition remains limited. Overall, the current scientific consensus is that dogs do not demonstrate self-awareness in the same way as species that pass the mirror test, though their unique sensory abilities may offer different forms of self-perception. When observing dogs in front of mirrors, researchers have proposed several alternative explanations for their behavior. One possibility is that dogs interpret their reflection as another dog, leading to reactions such as barking, sniffing, or playful gestures. In other cases, dogs might simply ignore the mirror altogether, showing little interest in the reflected image. This could suggest that they do not perceive the reflection as meaningful or relevant. Some experts believe that dogs rely more on scent and sound than visual cues, which may explain their lack of engagement with mirrors. These alternative viewpoints highlight the complexity of canine perception and suggest that mirror behavior may not be a straightforward indicator of self-awareness. While sight is important, dogs rely heavily on their other senses to understand themselves and their surroundings. Their sense of smell is incredibly powerful, allowing them to detect subtle changes in the environment, recognize individuals, and even sense emotions. Hearing also plays a significant role, as dogs can pick up frequencies and sounds that are imperceptible to humans. These heightened abilities help dogs navigate their world, communicate with others, and stay alert to potential dangers. By integrating information from smell, hearing, and sight, dogs form a rich and nuanced perception of their environment. This multisensory approach shapes not only how they interact with the world, but also how they experience their own identity within it. Recent research has begun to question the reliability of the traditional mirror test as the sole measure of animal self-awareness. Scientists have observed that some species may not respond to mirrors in expected ways, not because they lack self-recognition, but due to differences in sensory perception or social behavior. For example, animals that rely less on vision may not find mirrors meaningful. As a result, researchers are developing alternative methods, such as using scent-based or problem-solving tasks, to better assess self-awareness across a wider range of species. These new approaches aim to provide a more nuanced understanding of animal cognition and challenge long-held assumptions about the boundaries of self-awareness in the animal kingdom. Dogs possess a remarkable form of social intelligence that allows them to interpret human emotions and behaviors with surprising accuracy. Their ability to form strong emotional bonds with people not only shapes their interactions, but may also influence how they perceive themselves. Unlike many other animals, dogs often look to humans for cues and validation, which can affect their sense of identity and belonging. This close relationship fosters a unique self-awareness, as dogs learn to navigate social situations based on human feedback. The emotional connection between dogs and humans creates a dynamic in which dogs may view themselves as part of a family unit, rather than as solitary creatures. These insights suggest that a dog's self-perception is deeply intertwined with its social environment and the bonds it shares with humans. When introducing your dog to a mirror, observe their initial reactions closely. Some dogs may bark, paw at the glass, or tilt their heads in curiosity, while others might ignore their reflection altogether. These responses can reveal how your dog perceives unfamiliar images and whether they recognize themselves or see the reflection as another animal. If your dog appears anxious or agitated, it's best to reassure them and avoid forcing the interaction. Over time, repeated exposure may lead to reduced interest, as your dog realizes the reflection poses no threat. Watching these behaviors can offer insight into your pet's cognitive development and social awareness. Current scientific consensus suggests that dogs do not recognize themselves in mirrors in the same way humans or some other animals do. Most studies indicate that dogs typically respond to their reflection as if it were another animal, showing curiosity or social behaviors, rather than signs of self-awareness. The classic mirror test, which relies on visual cues, may not be well suited for dogs, as they rely more heavily on scent and other senses. Researchers acknowledge that this limitation could mean traditional tests underestimate dogs' cognitive abilities. While some anecdotal evidence hints at more complex responses, there is no definitive proof that dogs possess mirror self-recognition. Ongoing research continues to explore alternative methods that better align with canine perception, but for now, self-recognition in mirrors is not considered a trait of dogs. Mirror self-recognition has long been considered a benchmark for self-awareness in animals, offering insights into how different species perceive themselves. When an animal recognizes its own reflection, it suggests a level of cognitive sophistication that goes beyond basic instinct. However, the absence of this behavior in dogs does not necessarily imply a lack of self-awareness. Instead, it highlights the complexity and diversity of animal minds, reminding us that intelligence and consciousness can manifest in many forms. The ongoing mysteries of canine cognition challenge researchers to look beyond traditional tests and explore alternative ways dogs might understand themselves and their environment. As we continue to study these fascinating animals, we gain a deeper appreciation for the unique ways in which they experience the world. In summary, we've explored the fundamental aspects of dog psychology, from understanding canine communication to recognizing the importance of socialization and mental stimulation. By gaining insight into how dogs think and feel, we can build stronger, more trusting relationships with our furry companions. Remember, every dog is unique, and their behaviors often reflect a combination of instinct, experience, and environment. The world of dog psychology offers endless opportunities for discovery. Continue to observe, learn, and engage with your dog, and you'll uncover even more about their remarkable minds.